Kyosho, which comes with a Orion motor, 2000 kV, and stock it comes with a 120 amp speed controller. I have an 80 amp Hobby Wing speed controller in there currently. I'll show you some of the different looks I have, right? First of all, it's the Ford F620. Then there's the Volkswagen Beetle. And then there's the Parma Exciter body, a little bit more low slow. Get this thing over here. So, not super happy with that look, but it kind of works. And then finally the pink E-Max, which is actually a T-Max shell with all the holes Lexand shut. Alright, so my thoughts about the truck. First of all, one of the things that I like about it is that it is very light. That has to do with the twin vertical chassis plates that it has. So it doesn't have a tub chassis, it has twin vertical plates, kind of like the HBI Savage Flux series. That just makes for not a lot of material, which saves a lot of weight. The weight makes for nice speeds and cool electronics, mainly. The Orion set is actually really good, so that also contributes to it staying cool, but it always runs cool, not even warm, just cool. That's very nice. Stock, it comes with a crappy RTR servo, which I stripped out pretty easily. I have a Savox servo in there now. It's a pretty cheap one. A lot of torque, not a lot of speed. That does the job just fine. I made a custom tray for my ESC because I had a 150 amp ESC in it for a while. So I could run it on 6S, which was an absolute nightmare. I think I broke it in 6 different places, and it took me 2 months to basically get it back up to scratch. So usually the ESC is right here instead of down up here. Doesn't really make a difference. I like it up there, so I'm just going to leave it up there. One thing that a lot of people don't like about it is the steering. As you can see here, it's very complicated how that works. A lot of people break this screw that secures this. I haven't had problems with that. One of the reasons why I think that is because I didn't upgrade this part. I think it's basically the bell crank. Never upgraded that to aluminum, and I never put any heavier wheels on it. And I never put a super strong servo without a whole lot of speed in it either. So if you just keep it that way, it just works. It steers fine. There's a lot of slop in it, but it's a monster truck. It's never going to handle fantastically. So if you just keep all those components stock, it just works fine for me. I cracked it once when I jumped onto a rock, but I'll say more about that for the durability part. I put some Velcro straps in here. That's also left over from the 6S era because it didn't fit underneath these clasps. Alright, it comes with a wheelie bar. It's kind of hard to do really long wheelies on this because it's so, it has a ton of torque and it really does like to wheelie. But it's functional, I suppose. The bumper is usually plastic. I upgraded to aluminum. It did bend a little bit, not sure you can see there. But it's alright. It makes the whole frame a little bit more rigid. On 6S, when I drove it into a tree, I bent my chassis plates, and with this aluminum, and this, you have these servo bars here, I also upgraded those to aluminum. I think with those, it's a little bit harder to bend your chassis plates. I exclusively run it on 4S now, so the impacts aren't as hard, and it's been a lot more durable for me since. Which brings me to durability, actually. One of the main things that, main weakness is the rear hubs. I've broken those a couple of times until I upgraded to RC four-wheel drive hubs, which are a lot more beefy. I can't really show you here right now. And I didn't break them since, so that's a good upgrade. I destroyed my diffs, both of them. I think that was also from running 6S, so I'm just replacing those, and I haven't heard a lot of people have problems with those. I've bent some drive shafts, also mainly on 6S. Usually that's okay. Only one problem that it does have stock is that the drive axles in the front tend to come out of the drive cups when you make a sharp turn under power. There's a cheap fix for it. You just take a bit of fuel tubing and you stuff it in the drive cup, so that kind of pushes the drive shaft into the drive cup, which makes it impossible to come out. These shocks are actually, they have aluminum caps, and some people replace these, but I've never had problems with them. It handles really nicely with them. I've never even changed out the shock oil or the shocks. I mean the springs. As you can see, there's quite a lot of movement. They have some crazy angles. I'm not sure if you can see here, compared to a lot of cars, but it just seems to work for me. So there's a lot of articulation. Also, I think. I mean, it's solid axle. I mean, it's not a crawler, but see, it has some decent articulation. It does help. It helps it in crawling. But anyway, we're talking about durability. What else have I had problems with? The body posts bend a little bit, as you can see in the rear, but that's fine. Those have been fine for a long time. Yeah, so I broke the bell crank. I also broke the diff housing once. It's mainly when you jump onto rocks, it doesn't like that. So the plastic is decent. It's maybe a little bit on the hard side, that's why it tends to break sometimes. The hardware is Phillips, which is too bad, but I haven't had any problem with stripping. But on the durability, when you jump this a lot, these shocks will tend to come off of these, I'm not sure what they're called, pivot balls or something. Not pivot balls, but something balls. The thing is, you can just pop those back on, and so it's not really a durability issue. It's just a bit annoying, but it's better than having something really permanently damaged. Let me see. Put the boards back on for you guys. Handling. It's a solid axle truck, as you can see, so handling is not super. It tends to flip over, even though the center of gravity isn't that bad because it's such a light truck. It handles like a real monster truck though, so it's definitely a lot of fun to drive, and it crawls quite nicely compared to most monster trucks, I think. It's pretty fast. I think it goes probably around 25 miles per hour. So for a solid axle monster truck, that's pretty good. You can still control it at those speeds, although it is pretty scary when it comes at you at those kind of speeds. The main thing that I like about this truck, it's a real monster truck, and it's a ton of fun to drive, and it's not just at scale speed. So like compared to a Clodbuster or a Wheelie King, it drives like a real monster truck, but it is a performance truck, so you can really jump it. It goes quite fast. And you can do tons of wheelies, of course, and if you have enough traction, you can do backflips with it also. These wheels don't get a ton of traction, but that's actually good. That helps the handling, because it makes you go into a power slide before you flip over. Let me see, I made a list of what I was going to talk about. I think I covered pretty much everything. So I hope this was helpful for everyone.